What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jonathan Davenport, also known as J Dev, back at it again. Man, it's been a while. I've been wanting to do these medical school vlogs for a while now. I did two when first starting out, but medical school just takes a lot out of you. So I want to do these a lot more, get consistent, just pushing out content for my medical students out there and just the general public as a whole. And when you start medical school, no one tells you that life is going to keep on happening. So we're back at it. Had to take some time off for personal reasons because again, life just keeps happening. But we're back on the trail. So officially, I'm in the home stretch. So Dr. Davenport is coming real soon. Man, it feels good to say that. But yeah, I'll be coming in doing the hospital work, doing my training, and then pretty soon residency, and we'll keep going from there. But today we want to go ahead and talk about the obligatory questions I get in obligatory videos that every medical influencer does is, what did I use to study for step one? And the only reason why I'm doing this video, because there's so many of these out there, is because I still get the question from my peers, and maybe some of you out there don't even know what step one is. I'm willing to bet a lot of you don't know what step one is as far as just general population goes. So we're going to talk about that, and then the tools that I use for step one, and then we're just going to knock this video out real quick because I don't want the content that I post to be just like study tools and stuff like that, because there's a lot of stuff out there for that already. My content I want to push out there is going to be more lifestyle, day-to-day med school, med student work, going into residency, letters of recommendation, interview skills, supervisory skills, just anything that's just lifestyle in general outside of just the regular, like what to do as a medical student. There's a lot of resources out there like that already. And I feel like that is kind of convoluted. Those people that are pushing that stuff out are the experts. So I'm just going to talk about like my experiences and other things that you can take away from this medical school journey and other journeys that you may be doing if it's not medical school, anything to just like elevate yourself. So, but here we go for the first one. So step one, what is step one? So step one is the USMLE examination. So what that stands for is the United States Medical License Examination. It comes in 3 steps. It's step 1, step 2, and step 3. These are basically exams that you take to become licensed as a physician in the United States of America. So with that being said, it's usually the exams that medical students sweat over. We have to pass step 1 and step 2 in medical school. So step 1 comes after the second year traditionally of medical school, and then step 2 usually comes at the end of the year 3, and then step 3 you usually do within your first or second year of residency. But some people take a gap in between finishing medical school and starting residency to go ahead and knock out step 3, which, maybe that's something I'll look at. We'll see how life goes. But that's the breakdown of it. We do have to take 3 step exams in order to be fully licensed as a physician. And then outside of that, we also have board exams depending on the specific specialty that we go into. So like, you have to be board certified in OBGYN, you have to be board certified in family medicine, surgery, so on and so forth. So we never stop taking exams. So that's just the general rundown of STEP. So as far as medical students, while you're here, what did I use? So the tried and true, honestly. So my resources were first aid, RX, Boards and Beyond, Pathoma, Anki, Dirty Medicine YouTube videos, and then question banks I used was Amboss and UWorld. So I'll go through each one real quick and what I did with them. So first aid and RX kind of go hand in hand. So for people that don't know, RX is the learning tool that is made by the people that write first aid. And first aid is what we call the med school Bible. It's basically a huge review book of just about all the content that we learn in basic sciences. Basic sciences being the first 2 years of medical school, where we're just doing the book work. We're learning the science, the anatomy, physiology, and pathology of the human body. So first aid is just a book that summarizes all of that, which is why we have so many other resources, because med students, first aid is a review. It's a review book. It is not the end all be all. You do need more than that. First aid is not enough. So RX is like, it's a question bank. They have videos. You can set up flashcards. So what I used RX was when I'm going through first aid and annotating, RX videos literally follows line for line down the book of first aid, page for page. So I would watch videos while annotating my first aid book, subject by subject, cover to cover. And I used that just to, like it's intended, as a review. I used first aid as my review book, and the RX videos just for the review to go along with first aid, because I am an auditory and visual learner. So I do need those videos. I need to hear stuff. I'm not just a reader. So that covers first aid and RX real quick right out the gate. So Boards and Beyond, another review source. Basically just a review of all the systems and everything. So specifically for the people that's in the know, I use Boards and Beyond for physiology. I feel like he does a really good job of covering physiology and all the systems. So I didn't do all of the boards videos. I just covered the physiology, and that really clicked with me as far as just getting that physio review in, and making sure I'm on my P's and Q's when it comes to physio questions. Then Pathoma. Pathoma is probably up there just right along with first aid. Excellent resource, covers the pathology of each system. Could probably use a little bit of update at this point, but it's still the gold standard. And then the videos, if for some reason like the book isn't just clicking with me, there are videos, I do watch those as well. But just covering the pathology of each system, Pathoma, number one. And for those that don't know, pathology is basically like what goes wrong with the human body. So physiology is how the body works. Anatomy is the physical structures of the body, and pathology is basically like what happens when all of that stuff goes wrong and breaks down. So an example of that would be the physiology of the heart would be how it pumps blood through the system, the different volumes that it pumps, water-based regulation. Anatomy would be the actual structure of the heart, like the 4 valves of the heart, the chambers, and all of that. But the pathology would be like, if you tie all those together, would be an example, would be like myocardial infarction, or otherwise known as a heart attack. So that's how those all link together. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it, but when you hear me say these terms, physiology, anatomy, pathology, that's what I'm talking about. Pathoma covers the pathology of each system. Awesome resource. Anki. So what Anki is an open source software that allows you to create flashcards or import other flashcard decks that people have created themselves. So the Anki deck that I use was the one that almost every medical student knows and is aware of, is Anking. It's like 30,000 cards at this point, probably more, depending on when you're watching this video. But it covers like everything. There's so much information in there. And there's a lot of tools with that deck now that links to Amboss, and we'll talk about Amboss later. But again, gold standard for medical students, especially for people like me, where I use flashcards. Like, I love flashcards. Again, very visual learner here. And then Anki does what's called spaced repetition. And there's multiple studies on that, how it helps with memory retention and stuff like that. Again, we'll get into maybe we'll cover that again, or I'll link some videos regarding that. But because again, that's covered by so many people, I just don't want to push out the same content that everyone else is doing. So, but Anki as a resource, excellent. And then Dirty Medicine. So Dirty Medicine is a YouTube channel where, the person is covering different systems, different pathologies in very short videos. And I use that like within the last few weeks of step 1 prep, just if I needed like a quick reminder about something, like I did a question and I got it wrong and I just needed like, man, that was tough. I'm not getting enough out of that explanation from the question. I need to go back and review it real quick. I will go to Dirty Medicine real quick and see if he has a video on that subject, just to view it real quick and just jog that memory again. So Dirty Medicine, those were the review sources that I used. And as far as question banks, I used AMBOSS and UWorld. UWorld for med students, self-explanatory, the gold standard. And then AMBOSS is really climbing up the ranks as far as being a great question bank and resource, because the explanations they give and the detail that they give is second to none. So I think UWorld is the gold standard just because it's the one that everyone knows right now. It's the one that's pushed out the most, but AMBOSS is really coming up there pretty quickly, and it just integrates with so many other software. I love what those people are doing over there over at AMBOSS. So those are the resources that I used. Again, for the question banks, when I was preparing, I basically did anywhere from 80 to 100 questions a day, making sure to go through my wrong answers and checking the explanations, and then actually writing down, a tidbit of information from questions that I got wrong, just to make sure like I'm getting what's going on. And I feel like that's probably a video that I will cover, like doing practice questions and going over them, how to attack them. In my experience, that's probably something I can cover. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the rundown. Again, I'll say first aid, RX, boards and beyond, Pathoma, Anki, Dirty Medicine, question banks, AMBOSS, and UWorld. And I use both question banks. I know that may sound like overkill to a lot of people, but I use both question banks because I wanted to be able to master multiple types of questions, like no matter who writes it. So when I approach STEP on test day, no matter how they're coming at me, I should be able to answer the question. And on that note, so step 1, while UWorld and AMBOSS are good question banks, I personally feel like those questions on that exam didn't look like any of the question banks. I can't talk about the question specifically because, for legal reasons, and, I don't want to lose, my already one license I've already gotten so far. But it's an exam. It's difficult, but it's very doable. Again, if you go through these question banks, you'll at least get the information down. And honestly, they're testing the same information. It's just how it's written. The exam writers are smart. They know what to look for. So I would just say at the end of the day, all you can do is do your questions, do reviews, do MBME forms just to practice. And that's the main thing, is you have to practice exam, like sitting there doing a 5-hour exam just to practice with no distractions. You have to get those reps in. Doing a 7-block exam, an 8-hour exam multiple times, you have to do those reps so that on test day, you're not fatigued, because that is one of the goals. Like, they want to see how you're going to perform. One of the goals is to see how you're going to perform when you're tired, when you're fatigued. So get those reps in. All I'll say about STEP is, the questions, they are variable from what I understand. People have different variants of difficulty. I feel like mine was pretty tough, but we got through it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So, and then the very last tidbit I'll say is, most importantly, with all these resources that I'm throwing at you, that everyone's throwing at you, do what works best for you. I can't stress that enough. You have to do what works best for you. If 3 resources is all you need, 3 resources it is. If you need 10, although I would advise against that, but I mean, hey, if you're that learner that just needs to see everything from everywhere, hey, go for it. But know how you learn, figure out how you retain information, and figure it out fast. You don't have that much time to waste. You don't have much time to figure stuff out. So figure out how you learn quick. So like I said, I figured out that I'm not a reader. I'm not a note taker. So people take notes in med school all day. I'm not taking a lick of notes except for my annotating my first aid book, which is like jotting a sentence here or a sentence there on the side of the book, or like writing out my wrong answers for my practice question. But like doing pages on pages of notes don't work for me because I never go back to it. I am a visual and auditory learner. I have to be in class. I have to listen to lecture. I have to watch the video, and then practice questions all day, every day. Everyone has to have that in the bag. So yeah, that's going to do it for me on this one. Be on the lookout for more content. I'm going to be pushing out, more consistently this time. Probably a mix of lifestyle, what I'm doing on the side, business stuff, entrepreneurial stuff, and then medical school content. Of course, I just want to see what content I can push out there, and I just keep you guys interested and happy, and just make sure you guys are staying blessed every day, and y'all have a good one. See you on the next one.